Brandon, free agency can change a lot of things. And in this deal, I see a lot of names that have moved. Rico Dowdle, Dowdle Robinson being acquired for Michael Pittman and a 27 second. How far have your value shifted on these guys, and who do you want?
Give me Dowdle and Wandale.
All right, let's talk about it.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
Welcome in to the All Gas Trade Show. I'm Ty Declare 44. I'm joined by Gabe at iGabe_FF. And yes, we got the man, the BG-C, in the seat with us this week. Hope you're doing well, DDFFB family, all the good people. Happy Saturday. How are we doing? Free agency running wild last week, changing values, giving hope where there wasn't hope, giving questions where there wasn't questions. It is a beautiful time to be in the Dynasty fantasy football streets. Gabe, I'll start with you, man. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Ready to talk some value shifts with you guys and get this show on the road.
Let's do it. Yeah, Brandon, how are you doing, man?
It's been a long week with free agency news and content, whatnot, but listen, trades are happening. Trades are happening within our community, and we got to talk about some of them.
100%. Yeah, you've been on stages. You've been everywhere on the Discord, Brandon, this week, doing the content colossus here over at DDFFB. And if you want to be part of that, you can head over patreon.com/allgas, gets in the community. And if you're like, man, listen, money's tight. We're in a weird world. I hear you. There's also, you get a little looking glass into the Discord. Join free into the All Gas community. Check the link below. There's going to be a link there. Yeah, you can get in, check it out, see if you like it before committed. Also, DDFFB.com gets you all the tools to dominate your league. If you're on YouTube and you want to see, me, Shane, Scott talk some trades live, if you want some more of the DD members only content, click that trades and chill tier link, $3.99 a month American, an extra toonie. If you're Canadian, gets you live access to Dynasty Deal Show and everything else we got going over there. If you are a member, drop some sweatpants in the chat here in the comments. And while you're here, before we get started, like, subscribe, all that good stuff supports the community. Guys, we got a jam-packed show, so we ain't going to faff around. And so, Brandon, again, I know you see that NYG next to that Wandale. I know your heartstrings are still attached to Wandale in some way. He's in Tennessee now. We got Rico Dowdle in Pittsburgh. We also got Pittman in Pittsburgh and a 27 second. As you've sat with that deal, is it... are you digesting it in a different way? What if I told you it's a 12 by 10 PPR with a 0.25 point per carry?
Yeah, I feel better about that decision. In the 0.25 point per carry. Dowdle's probably in a shared backfield with Jalen Warren. Well, it remains to be seen how the actual carries will actually break down. We don't know that yet. So it's March. We don't know that. So I'll take that gamble there over to the 27 second. And when it comes down to Michael Pittman and Dowdle Robinson, I don't expect Dowdle Robinson to instantly revert back to early Dowdle. I kind of see somewhere between the last two seasons where he's averaged 90 catches with Brian Daboll, and he's going to a Daboll offense. One of the things that I've said inside the Discord a lot this week is that with Dowdle, he's going to probably be the short yardage check down to Cam Ward. They're going to get the ball out of Cam's hand faster. That's just the football thing they're going to try to do faster. And who's that going to be? The guy that Brian Daboll trusts the most. That's Dowdle. Doesn't mean that Michael Pittman's bad. I just think week in, week out, Dowdle's probably going to be a more consistent play inside of a start 10.
I'm thinking like a Jarvis Landry type, just like coming across the middle, like hopefully Cam Ward, can find him underneath and just pepper him with some volume. Gabe, what about you, man? Pittman in a second, Dowdle and old Dowdle.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I think Brandon kind of hit some of it, the nail on the head, if you will. I do think Rico's going to be in a shared backfield there in Pittsburgh, but Jalen Warren is not the type of running back that scares you off of a guy like Rico either, right? I think they're both going to have some pretty good opportunity. On the flip side of that, Michael Pittman going to the Steelers kind of gives me a little bit of a pause, right? Because I do think that while DK is still very much there, who's the quarterback? What does that situation look like? I don't know that the Steelers offensive quarterback situation is better than the Colts situation. And so part of me does feel like it's a little bit of a step down for him, where I feel like Dowdle really could be that guy, to Brandon's point a second ago, that really could ascend a little bit in that offense. Now, I'm not super excited about Cam Ward per se, but Dowdle has held his own, if you will, in In New York, he did it, and I'm going to imagine that he's going to do it as well in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. 12 by 10, you have to be mindful of not just buying something to buy something, making sure it can actually hit your lineup, can actually help your team. Wandale to Pittman, I'm fine making a bet on Pittman, but in that range of wide receiver, I'm probably feeling like I will feel the same if I'm starting Wandale or Pittman in my lineup. So I'm happy to make that change if I can get something else that helps my team. A 27-second for Rico Dowdle. I'm just checking on KTC. It looks like Dowdle is running back 31 right now, right below Blake Corum and David Montgomery and Tyler Allgeier. So probably right in that range. A 27-second, that's probably the min price that you're going to have to pay today to get into them. So if
Especially
you're okay
in a 0.25 point per
I was going to say,
carry.
especially with the quarter point per carry, like that's probably cheap.
That's the big thing. That's the big thing for me, right? Is that point per carry? Is it just changes the math there? So I'll take that. If it was just a half point PPR or PPR, no PPC, I think it's a lot closer. But I'll take Dowdle. I'll take old Wandale Robinson. I'll lean in to the bell cows here in the PPC. But cool. We'll leave it there. Ant-Man, appreciate you getting us started with some players that have moved around in free agency. Floody brings us two. Again, I was away last week. I caught the plague. I slept most of the weekend, so sorry I wasn't here. I was going to bring you Brandon and Gabe, but hey, we got a lot more news as a result, so hope this is a better show. But Floody got us two. So the first one here, 12 by 10 Superflex, 0.5 PPR, 1.25 tight end PPR, 6-point passing touchdown, and it's a team that's rebuilding. So the first deal here, he acquired Justin Jefferson. He sent away Brian Thomas Jr. and a 27 first. Gabe, on a rebuilder, how hesitant are you to send the 27 first? But when the right deal comes along, how easy is it to make the deal?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. It's definitely not a pick that I'm trying to leverage, especially, I don't want somebody else to hold my destiny, if you will, right? I want to make sure that I'm the one that's in control of that. And so very reluctant usually whenever I am not competing to give away my picks. But to your point, man, 12 by 10, shallow format. It is half point PPR, but you're just going to want the best of the best. And I think Justin Jefferson, now that Kyler Murray is there, I'm not saying Kyler Murray is the answer, but I do believe that he is a better option than what JJ McCarthy was last year. And so we will see what that looks like. I do think Justin Jefferson will be a beneficiary of that trade. And I am kind of excited, man, for him. I think this is a good bounce back year, hopefully, for him. A lot of people kind of wrote him off because of the quarterback situation. It wasn't necessarily the talent. And now he gets a little bit of an upgrade at quarterback. So we'll see what that looks like. But I'm going to take Justin Jefferson on this one, man. I still have a lot of question marks around Brian Thomas Jr. I don't think that he is the number one option there now that Jacoby Myers has really been evolving there with Trevor Lawrence. And so it'll be interesting to see. And I mean, Travis Hunter's still very much around. We don't know what the split is going to be like from offense to defense, but there's still a chance, man, where Brian Thomas, could even be behind a guy like Travis Hunter as well. So give me Justin Jefferson in this.
If they wrote Justin Jefferson off, I don't think he wrote back.
Absolutely not.
I mean, a quarterback upgrade. We'll see. We'll see Kyler. We'll see what happens. I'm hopeful, but we'll see. Brian, when I look at this one, is that Snicks Khalifa getting his 27 first back with Brian Thomas? Is that how that, when it doesn't show the name, does that mean it's going back to the owner?
I would assume that. And that's kind of why, like, one of the things that I talked about this week is positive liquidity, right? And we'll talk about some other deals where positive liquidity can come into play. And I think in the situation of Jefferson, this is a case of positive liquidity, right? Like, you're buying into Justin Jefferson with the idea that Kyler is going to make him better, or in terms of production, not in terms of talent. He's already talented enough. We already know that. But now that the quarterback competition is a little more solidified for him, people are going to feel a little bit safer to buy into him. And if the price point in this league is Brian Thomas Jr., who, let's just say he's a wide receiver 2 with some wide receiver 1 weeks, because that's probably what he's going to be, right? He's going to get 7-8 targets a week, and he's probably going to catch 40% of them, because that just seems to be the going rate of how he was catching. So if he can improve on his catch rate, right, he's going to have probably more consistent wide receiver 2 to wide receiver 1 weeks. And he gets his 2027 first. Like, if the cost is to get into Jefferson, I don't think that's not necessarily like the worst price to pay. Like, honestly, like I know I probably want Jefferson in a 1-for-1 over Thomas, but if I have to get my 27 first back because maybe Snicks Khalifa is also rebuilding as well.
Yep.
Right. Like we don't know his side. We only know that Floody is rebuilding. So to Floody, this is one of those, like, I'm buying at a price point that's kind of lower than where I've had to buy Jefferson in the past. And if he is the bump, I could probably trade Jefferson for a higher tier than Brian Thomas in a 27 first. Like I could see the wheels turning in Floody's mind. But for Snicks, how many times have we always said, like, Gabe, you even just said it, like, I want to control my own destiny. And if the control my destiny price is taking on a volatile wide receiver 2 to get my first back, and all I got to give up is Justin Jefferson, sure, give me the exit liquidity is there for the next couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if that's the 27-101 and you sent that away, that it's a little tough.
Yeah,
right, because like just the upward mobility that could be there for Brian Thomas Jr. is way more than how much higher Justin Jefferson could climb. It was some few months ago that we were all being like, get Kyler out of the lineup, put in Jacoby Brissett, because we didn't feel confident in what Kyler Murray was doing in the offense, right? So again, I'm hopeful, but I also want to be realistic, as we have to see it in a new system. I'm hopeful, optimistic, but taking a pause, not just betting Justin Jefferson is who we hope he is again. If that was like, and this screams of a deal of someone who has multiple firsts in the back pocket. Because if I'm a rebuilder, I'm not sending my own 27 first and Brian Thomas Jr. to get this done. And I would rather not send maybe an early one to get it done. If I can make a convicted bet on a 27 first with Brian Thomas Jr. to get Justin Jefferson, I'm here for it. But hey, Floody wasn't done there, so let's look at the totality of the deals. Second deal. Floody sends away Jaxson Dart, 102 and a 2028 second. He gets back Ashton Jeanty, 103 and 304. Brandon, I'm going to start with you. I see your boy, Jaxson Dart, 102 to 103 swap, 28 second and a 304. 12 by 10, half point PPR. Do you have a preference of where you're going to park your money there between Dart and Jeanty? The price to go from 102 to 103, what does that look like?
I mean, in a 6-point passing touchdown league, the rushing kind of, I don't want to say it gets negated, but it's a little bit different than if it was 5 or even 4, right? I'm not a huge fan of this deal for Floody. Just not. I don't want to go to Jeanty. Like, that just doesn't feel like you're doing it. The only reason why you're doing this deal is because you don't believe that Jaxson Dart can stay healthy, which is a very valid concern for a lot of people. I get it. But this is, I don't know that I necessarily want to pivot into Jeanty. I'd probably rather pivot into, if you're going to go this way, because like, what is 103? So you're going to go wide receiver. So you're trading Dart, the option of whatever lands between Mendoza and the wide receivers, and a random 28-6. Yeah, even it's like Tate, Mendoza, maybe Tyson if he lands in a good spot, or Lemon for Jeanty. The other choice of whatever the person you just made the deal with, and a 304. I get it. Dart maybe not be elite, but I think there's different ways you could probably package. So if you wanted to get an elite running back, like, I would just go get the 101. If you're gonna get an elite running back, I would just rather go get Jeremiah Love and live in that dream than get Jeanty, who probably will do fine. But
the mystery box appeal is always appealing.
Yes, that's, I don't know. That's just me. I'm not feeling this one, but I mean, credit to Floody. The uncomfortable deals are usually the ones that have the most impact on your rosters.
So, Gabe, I'll give you a little bit more. So the quarterback room after the trade is Shuck, Daniel Jones. His running backs are now Achane, Judkins, Jeanty. He acquired Rashad White for 301 last week. I love that. Wide receivers are Justin Jefferson and roster cloggers. So he consolidated into an elite wide receiver and now rebuilding around it. Tight ends, Henry, Freiermuth, Arroyo, JT Sanders, etc. He has 103, 105, 108, 109, 202, 427 first in the back pocket, 5 seconds, 328 first, several thirds and fourths. Thinking I can acquire another quarterback or two later on at a lower acquisition price. So with that in mind, again, 12 by 10 Superflex, 0.5 PPR, tight end boost, 6-point passing touchdown. If you're betting that you can figure out quarterback later on, what do you think about shifting value like Floody did here for Ashton Jeanty?
I mean, I still think I would have wanted to approach it a different way, right? So one thing that I was going to mention, right? So having Tyler Shook and Daniel Jones as my 2 starting quarterbacks, having the 102 at the time, right? You're probably looking at, you're kind of staring down the barrel of maybe Mendoza at that point, right? Where you're like, okay, maybe I could get this quarterback. What I would have liked to have done, in my opinion, was keep Dart. And then if you wanted the flexibility, move from that 102 to the 103 and just pick up maybe the 28 second, not have to kind of go anywhere else and let somebody else make the decision for you, right? I don't know that I necessarily would have wanted to have given up what I presume to be a potential floor raising quarterback in Jaxson Dart, especially now that they have Likely. I'm just really excited for that offense. And I'm sure Brandon is as well as a Giants fan, but there's a lot of really good things, man, for me that I'm excited about for New York. I think I would have rather just moved that 102 back to the 103 like he did in this trade and maybe just picked up an additional piece.
I would have also gotten off of one of those tight ends instead of the 28 second. Freiermuth, Arroyo, JT Sanders.
Yeah. They're all kind of the same guy.
They're all the same. Like literally, they're all like, and that's the kind of piece that I would have rather got if I'm going to get the 304. Shoot, even Hunter Henry, because you're trying to quote unquote rebuild. Henry's got a lot. Like Henry probably has some level of steam in this. Like he's a decent startable option. He's not a flex option, but he's a tight end that could start. And I probably can get the 304. And if you want to build around, Arroyo, sure. But like that would probably be the way to move off of instead of getting rid of the 28 second just to get essentially the 304. Like that just doesn't feel like a good value shift there.
Well, and I think too, I mean, even looking back at it also, can you pull up the team again? He had Justin Jefferson. So without a doubt, he's probably going to be using one of those picks for a wide receiver already as it is. Like I said, unless Mendoza went, at the 102 or 103. But that being said, he already controlled those picks. And so if Mendoza were to drop to the 103 and he's like, I don't want to take him, he could have moved back again and just continued, accruing, even if it's just seconds, right? Like to move back one spot, it would have been the better move in my opinion. And you still would have been a little bit more solidified in your QB position. I think having Jaxson Dart in this team really opens up your flexibility with those picks rather than giving him away. Because you already had Achane and Judkins.
I'll agree. If you think you're more flexible with Jaxson Dart, you can do something else with him. I'm cool with that. I do think, Achane, Jeanty for a rebuilding team, that's a little tough. Even in this like heavy tight end premium, 1.25, PPR, what I find happens is it gets really easy to get really messy in my roster construction at tight end where I have 3, 4, 5 guys who are all the same. And then double that down on a rebuilding roster. Guys like Henry, Freiermuth, those are guys who can just add those potential points to your roster who could mess up your bag when you're looking at your 27 picks as well. So just be mindful with that. And if I can use those guys in trades to go get something else done, I'm here for it. But hey, I'll tell you what, this one, again, you're making a bet on what that 27 first is. I'm not going to fault anyone for getting into Justin Jefferson at what is the most acceptable price
affordable price
in his dynasty career, except for when he drafted him as a rookie. Jaxson Dart 102 and a second for Jeanty 103 and 304. If Jeanty's right and Jaxson Dart can't stay upright, you're going to feel great about that. With what we know today, I think the Dart 102 and a second side is the more flexible side. So I'll stick with that here in March. But I want to know what the people want. What do you want? What side do you want on Floody's deal? We got a lot more Jaxson Dart to talk about on this show. So we'll move on to T. Sanford, our guy. Fight Club format. That's 12 team, start 13 lineup. You got to start 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and we got 3 flexes. It's a 0.15 point per carry with a 0.25 running back first down, the PPR with a 0.33 wide receiver first down. So, Gabe, I'm going to start with you here. You see that Jaxson Dart, once again, being sent away along with 202, 210, a 27 second, a 306, and a 27 first. Random wrecking. I don't know who. I'm assuming maybe Wrecking Ball, Wrecking Ralph. Who knows? T. Sanford gets Michael Penix, Woody Marks, David Montgomery, and that man, Trey McBride. Start 2 tight end premium. I don't see the tight end premium listed here, but if memory serves, it's 0.75 or 1.0. It's a heavy tight end premium as well. Yeah. So where do you want to park your money here, man? 2 quarterback and Jaxson Dart and some picks. You've got that 27 first as well. Do you feel better about Penix, the 2 running backs, and Trey McBride in a start 3 running back, start 2 tight end with some boosted scoring, Gabe?
Man, well, I'll kind of get it kicked off first. I'm going to ignore the Trey McBride. I'm going to set my biases aside for a second. But in a 12-by-13 start 3 running back tie, we play in a couple of those. And, dude, finding running backs is very, very difficult. It is a very, very difficult thing to do, especially once you start getting into some of these bonuses like the 0.15 point per carry, the 0.25 for running back first down as well. Like that definitely changes the scoring and the evaluation for some of these guys. I really liked the David Montgomery signing for Houston as well. Again, it's going to operate as a running back tandem, right, between him and Woody Marks. But having both of them, if anything happens to either one, the other is just going to shoot up, man, from a production standpoint of what they can give you week to week. Now, obviously, we have to see, if Houston does anything to address the offensive line, different things like that. But overall, between those 2 running backs, I'm excited because I do believe that one of them week to week will be viable for you in fantasy. Michael Penix, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not really sure what to kind of make of the situation right now. Now that 2 is there, so we'll kind of wait and see what that looks like. But the big meat and potatoes of this trade, man, is for our boy Trey McBride. Mm-hmm. And so for me, he's easily the best asset in this deal by a pretty penny. I mean, looking at it, Ty, I'm going to assume, and again, I don't know what this team context looks like, but I'm going to assume that T already has a decent quarterback room where he's able to make a pivot off of a Jaxson Dart. At least I'm hopeful that that's the situation. And so if that's the case, I mean, dude, I'd probably be okay with moving Jaxson Dart and a first for Trey McBride in a format like this, man. Like, just, it is a little expensive, but I think when you look at it in totality, the format start 2 tight end and a +1 tight end premium, like he just scores so many damn points, man, in a format like this. And then everything else, like the 202, 210, 27 second, like I'm going to definitely want some of those pieces over maybe some of the running backs and over the quarterback. But in totality, I mean, I can understand why you would want to get into Trey McBride in this type of format.
So, Gabe, quick math. I'm going to stick with you here. 202 for David Montgomery. How do you feel?
I mean, I think that's the price. I'll probably stick with David Montgomery. But again, it's probably pretty close for me.
Okay. Let's say you want to capture every piece of the Houston offense that we know today in the running back room. Monty and Marks for 202, 210, and 306.
I don't love grabbing 2 running backs from the same offense, right? But I mean, I think I'll stick with Houston for now.
I'm also pretty sure. Well, no, it says Houston when T did the screenshot, but he might have done this deal before Monty signed as well. But TBD on that. So then, so we have a 27 second and Michael Penix. How do you feel on that bet?
I'll take the 27 second.
Okay,
I'm not hopeful for Penix.
So then you're just looking at Jaxson Dart and a 27 first for Trey McBride and a 2 tight end heavy premium.
Yeah, which again, I mean, I think it is expensive. Like, I don't want to discredit that. I do believe that it is expensive, but sometimes, man, you got to park your money where you really believe it's gonna boast well for you. And I do think Trey McBride is one of those options. Now, the uncertainty in Arizona on the quarterback situation is definitely something that I don't want to overlook. But Trey McBride is, in my opinion, at least still one of those guys that I think is going to continue to do great things no matter who the quarterback is. I think me and you could be the quarterback out there, and I think he would be able to catch the ball just fine.
But just might. I just looked up the fight club that I'm in. It's 0.75. So we're going to say 0.75 for this. Okay. Brandon, so T's making a bet on either Penix or Willis being a starter while hoarding the tight ends in this league. 27 first is probably mid. He got it in the JT for Lamb deal a few weeks ago. Go back a couple weeks, watch that show. I think he started off the show with that deal. So the team: Josh Allen, Willis, and backups. JT, Saquon, Ramondre, Allgeier, and backups. Pickens, Ladd, Keenan Allen, and guys. Tight ends: Loveland, Warren, Pitts, Laporta, Njoku, and now McBride. If that's not a tight end horde, I've never seen one, Bren. Does the context help you to understand what T did here in a 12-by-13, where he sent away Dart, a 27 first, 202, 210, 36, and a 27 second for Penix, Marks, Monty, and McBride?
Sounds like this deal was made before the free agency started.
Yeah.
So probably right as Monty was probably either dealt to Houston or so could be. It probably wasn't a trade for this week. It was probably a trade from the previous week, which make maybe some sense to why he got Monty and Marks. Probably betting on one of them being a starting running back going into 2026, and lo and behold, they're in the same backfield. Whoops. Based on the comment of Penix and Willis being a starter, I think where I get a little scared about this deal, because I'm with you guys. I think McBride is probably the best asset in the deal. Here's where I push back. I'll play the pushback. I'll play the other side. I already have more than enough tight end. I've got Colston Loveland. I got Tyler Warren, who now just, and now I've got McBride. I also have Pitts, who, as much as people want to maybe discredit him or, whatever, like he's still going to probably be a top 6 tight end this year. Njoku hasn't found the landing spot as we record Saturday morning. I still have 4 very viable tight ends, and I'm probably going to have to flex them every single week because I don't have anything else, because that's the way T built the roster, and that's how he builds a lot of his rosters. Where I get very concerned is at that QB spot behind Josh Allen. Now, again, it's, I'm going to roll with Willis and Penix and hope, but what you lost is the flexibility to go buy one in the draft. By giving up the 202, the 210, the 27 second, the 306, the 27 first next year, you lose some of those opportunities to essentially continue to insulate an already pretty stacked roster. So that's where I would say T1 in terms of value, because you guys broke it down perfectly, right? Where T loses is the ability to, and I don't know what other picks he has. He probably will tell us, or he'll drop it in the comments. Like, where you lose in this deal is the ability to be flexible over the next 5 months, because everything, things can change. Like, yeah, Tua could come in and take over for Penix, and now all of a sudden, now what? Now you're stuck with Malik Willis, who's in Miami, and Josh Allen, which is not the worst 2 to be set to for at least 2 years. But what you're out, and everybody knows what you're out is, because you're going to have 5 tight ends. You even have Laporta. Like, I would have tried to maybe throw Laporta into this deal instead of some of these picks to maybe
get an upgrade.
Yeah, like could I send Laporta instead of, I don't know, the 202? You know what I mean? Play from my position of power and my position of excess, and just kind of like tweak Laporta, upgrade Laporta into McBride. So now I got these 4. I'm starting these 4 every single week. You're not going to beat me regardless.
Yeah.
So that way it just gives me a little bit of flexibility. That's all. It's not a bad deal. It's just, I'm thinking about how can I churn some of the quote unquote excess that I know I'm never going to really use or never want to use into something to maintain my flexibility.
I mean, DDFantasyFootball.com, go check out the war of your leagues. In this one, I know that running back really separates. I know that quarterback separates, and I know that somewhere like tight end 7 overlaps with wide receiver 7. So like the positions that T has bought into make sense from a war perspective. But T, this team is now your team. I don't no other context on any other picks you have, but you have made your bets. You've made your bet. The more flexible side, the side that I think you could do more with, is going to be the Jaxson Dart, the first and the picks as we move into the draft season. But me putting my money where my mouth is, I've said that I'm willing to send these seconds, these thirds and 26. I'm willing to send those away to get deals done, to get into players that I want to make a bet on. I agree. I don't want to get two halves of the same backfield if I can help it. I'd rather, split that up. And I'm going to assume when T made this deal, they weren't on the same team, but who knows? Overall value, it's going to be the Jaxson Dart side. I think it depends what T does from here, right? You have the tight end advantage by a long shot. You have completely changed the tight end distribution for the entire league. I think, just Brandon, to your point, how much does adding McBride extend that advantage versus what you had to give up to get it done? And now where does that leave you from a flexibility standpoint? I think, I would have loved to use maybe one of those tight ends in a deal to just upgrade, shift that around. But this is what you have. You can start up to 5 of them every week. This is definitely a tight end viable flex format. So I'm curious how it plays, T, because I have the Bowers McBride build in the other fight club, and I am here for the tight end bully ball. So I'll take Dart in the picks just because we're in March, and I'll be able to probably do more with that as we extend. But I do not hate getting myself another McBride share. What do you want? You want McBride? What do you want? I had one to share with the class here really quick. We don't have to talk about it, but just another Dart deal. 12 by 12 lineup. I sent away Dart, Gunner, Helmet at 2-7. I got Harold Fan and Romeo Dobbs and a 27 second. This is a 1 point tight end premium lineup league. So again, Jaxson Dart was on the move. It seems to be kind of the theme of the week here. So I figured, Brandon, we got the New York Giants fan in the house. Let's put you in the hot seat, my friend. So I am going to pull up the Dynasty Daddy trade database. I'm going to punch in Jaxson Dart. I'm going to do max of 4 assets, 12 or 14 team, start 10. Okay.
Got it.
I'm going to list out some trades. I just want you to give me a 1-word answer, well, as many words as it takes to say what side of the trade you want. Are you ready, my friend?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Jaxson Dart and 112 or 101 and 204?
Give me Dart.
Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jaxson Dart and 109?
Give me Dart.
Jaxson Dart and Devonta Smith or Malik Neighbors and Matthew Stafford?
Give me the Stafford and Neighbors side.
Jaxson Dart for Devonta Smith, Kyler Murray, and 210.
Dart.
Jaxson Dart or a 27 first and 104?
Dart.
Devon Achane or Tootin Dart and 307?
Dart.
Jaxson Dart or 103?
Dart.
Right,
And that's not me being really high on Dart. It's just me being like,
Some of those assets.
if I'm not getting into the elite of elite pieces, the only one that I might take back is the 101 deal. I forget what that one. Can you read that one back for me?
Yeah, 101 and 204 for Jaxson Dart and 112.
Yeah, that's the only one where I'd be like, okay, I might have to actually reconsider. Because like Achane, sure. That's a close one. Amon-Ra, sure. That's the Achane deal, right? That's close. Amon-Ra, that's close. But like if I'm making a deal like that today, I want something like Jeremiah Love, where it could be an elite asset. I want something, Jamar Chase. I want Trey McBride. I want those dudes. I want the dudes that are going to be difference makers in my league. I don't want to trade for a bag of, Pandora's box. The one that I did make was I think it was Neighbors and Stafford for Dart in a pick, something like that. I'm cool with that because I'm going to lean into Stafford's got 2 years. If I'm playing Dynasty, I got 2 years with him, and I'm just going to hope that Neighbors returns to a relative elite form. And I make probably back some value in that deal.
Yeah. That's a chef's kiss deal for me.
Like Neighbors, that's the way to do it.
For Dart and Devonta Smith. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
That's such a good trade.
Like that's the way, again, that's the way I want to move it. I don't want to move it where, in the comments will be like, oh, you didn't take Amon-Ra, but you take it Neighbors, you giant. Yeah, possibly. And I'm down on Neighbors, but I also see the other side being the quarterback has elite outcomes for the 2 years that he's probably still going to play. And that's the difference, but there's no value to him in Dynasty.
Gabe, I got two quick ones for you. Okay.
Yep.
In a 0.5 tight end premium, do you want Brock Bowers or do you want Jaxson Dart and Tucker Kraft?
No, I'll still take Brock Bowers.
Okay. And how about in a half point PPR? Do you want Jaxson Dart in a 308 or Breece Hall in a 28 first?
I'm going to still take Dart.
Ooh, okay. If I'm good at quarterback or I would plan at quarterback, I think I'll take Breece Hall in the first. But that's the bet you're making on what is Breece Hall. Where does he find himself? But really fun. Yeah. Jaxson Dart, flexible, usable, a fun piece to have right now. Make your bets. What can you do with them? Cool. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Kev. Kev brings us. Just got his first Jeremiah Love share. Love to see it. 14 teams, start 8, Superflex, PPR. Players of note on his team. He's got Herbert, Stafford, CMC, Henry, K9, Tootin, Chase, Nico, Ladd, Strange, and Njoku. So, Gabe, I'll start with you here, man. 14 by 8 Superflex PPR, sending away Jonathan Taylor and Dalton Kincaid. You get 101, 27 second, and 301. Where are you placing your bets, my friend?
Man, 14 by 8, I think, is the only reason why I'm going to take Jeremiah Love. I could talk myself into this where I do believe there's a situation Jonathan Taylor outscores Jeremiah Love this year. And, naturally, kind of like Jeanty, right? Where value is obviously very, very high. As the season kind of starts, it drops a little bit, right? Depending on the production, depending obviously the landing spot. And then it just takes off from there. So I do think that there might be another opportunity to buy a guy like Jeremiah Love post NFL draft and, as we get ready to start the season. But 14 by 8, man, he already has Strange and Njoku. I don't think Dalton Kincaid is really any different from either one of those guys, right? Where I think it's probably a good spot to get a little bit of liquidity there. And yeah, I will definitely take Jeremiah Love, man, in this one, in the 27 second.
Brandon, Jeremiah Love going to be coming in ahead of Jonathan Taylor in Dynasty ranks.
Oh, yeah.
Even before he puts cleats on the field. Jonathan Taylor and Kincaid are 101, 27 second, and 301.
Yeah, that's, to me, this is the way you want to get into the elite asset, right? Like, and by elite, I mean everybody's the KTC and the public's perception of where Love will slot in. This is probably the cheapest you're going to be to get to one of the elite outcomes. Like if we do this right now, could you trade that package and even that package of picks and get Bijan? Probably not.
No.
Yeah,
no.
Probably not.
Can't get Gibbs, right?
No.
Maybe can you get Jeanty? Maybe.
That's probably the one that's within reach.
Right. So like if that's what's in reach, like this is the package, like that package of picks. Like if I can get Love at that price point of I'm going to give up the proven Jonathan Taylor and I'm going to give up, when healthy, the proven tight end. Like Gabe said it, like I don't know how many times I'm going to start Kincaid at a 14 by 8 when I got Brenton Strange. Like I'm just going to lean into the ugly tight end there with Njoku and Strange and hope that and I saw the roster, like I'm going to hope that Jeremiah Love, CMC, and Derrick Henry carry me, literally drag my team to a championship because you've got Chase, you've got Nico. Like we could just do the math, right? Herbert, Stafford, CMC, Henry, Love, Chase, Nico, Strange. There's your 8.
And you have K9 and Tootin just sitting there too, which you can
and Ladd McConkey
right now. And Ladd.
Like you have enough depth. You have enough depth at other positions. Like this is perfectly fine, and you have the 27 second and the 301 to continue to use to shore up behind Stafford if Stafford were to get hurt. Right, you probably could send that 27 second in season for any kind of Joe Flacco-ish type player, right, to bridge quarterback if one of them goes down.
Yeah, players you can send if you want to restock those pick cupboards. Like you're going to be just fine there, Kev. So good work, man. We'll leave it there. We'll move on to Broncos 23, aka Lefty Golfer 08. Sends away Marv, Quinshawn, and 202 for Luther Burton and a 27 first and a 12 by 10 Superflex PPR 0.5 tight end premium. Brandon, do we need context on this deal?
I don't think we necessarily need context. I mean, it certainly would be helpful, but mean, this is one of those what I talked about, positive liquidity, right? Luther Burden, DJ Moore is traded from Chicago to Buffalo. People are ready to put that Luther Burden on the rocket ship to success. And I talked about this in the voice chat and the Heisman tier. People are still holding on to Luther Burden as their 1A from the previous draft class. Like, he was their number one. It wasn't Tedrow McMillan. It was Luther Burden. There are some folks that just hold on to that, kind of like the folks that are holding on to Travion Henderson. It's the same kind of Devy concept where once somebody lands into a not spot of opportunity, the ceiling goes a little bit higher on these guys. And that's exactly what's happening now with Burden in the offseason. And now everybody's like, oh, well, look, I told you. Like, Gabe, the three of us even had a conversation last night, Rome or Luther, right? Like, this is the conversation. And now you can lean into one. And if I only have to give up Marv, Judkins, which I like Judkins, so let's just say Judkins is worth the 27 first. Let's just give it that context. If I can do Marv in the 202 or Luther Burden, like, I'll take Luther, because the second he has like an even better game, I probably, if I want to get out, I'll have far higher liquidity than I would with Marv at this point. And people still love Marv. There's still a Marv hive. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still a Marv hive. It's pretty long and it's pretty wide, but there's also a very deep Luther Burden hive.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah, Gabe, so I want to hear what you were thinking about from that, when you were doing like the Odunze to Burden math. I mean, I'm looking at startup ADP for March right now. Yep. Literally, it's back-to-back Marv, Burden, Odunze. Like, they are all in that same range. You are making your bets of where do you think those players are going to land come start of the season, into season, and beyond. Luther Burden on 27 first for Marv, Quinshon, and 202.
Man. All right, Brandon, this is where I think I'm going to have to push against the decision. And so for me, I agree, right? So we were talking last night, right, about Burton and Odunze, and ADP is kind of speaking to that point as well, right, where they're back to back. So what that tells me really is nobody knows who really is going to be the number one in that offense, right, behind Colson Loveland. Nobody truly knows. And so whenever I'm kind of looking to evaluate trades with these guys, I'm really just selling whoever has the more value in a format, right? If somebody feels more convicted over Burden than Odunze, then sure, I'll give you Burden. If somebody feels more convicted on Odunze than Burden, then sure, I'll give you Odunze. Like, I'm going to try to let somebody else make that decision for me and hopefully be wrong in that, in their take, if you will. Now, looking at this deal for me, Marvman and Burden for me are kind of the same, like in the same tier. Yes, I do believe that Burden has a little bit more steam and a little bit more buzz right now with him than Marvin Harrison, but Marvin Harrison, man, people still like him. Like, I have no doubt that if Marvin Harrison had a good 2 to 3 week stretch in Arizona with whoever they figure out at the quarterback situation, his value is going to bounce back a little bit. Like, again, people like him. People like the name. Burden is, again, for me, similar tier to Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know that I would want to add the 202 to a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. to effectively get the same thing, even if one does have a little bit more steam around him. And to Brandon's point, 2027 first, Judkins, that really is just going to be contingent upon my team. Like, do I need the running back? Is it a later pick? If it's a later pick, then I'm willing to probably eat that because I do like Judkins a lot. I think the difference for me in this trade is that 202, man. And not that I have a high regard for the 202 of what I think that will be, but just from a flexibility standpoint, I don't know that I'm getting much more of a difference from Burden to Marvin Harrison Jr. to add that 202 into this package, for me at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll give a little more. So the team is kind of rough and won't compete this year, looking to add some quote-unquote premium assets with the 27 first and potential hype off of Burden once camp approaches. He has 427 first, or his 4 first this year, along with the 206. So he's pretty stocked up for this year, trying to think ahead to the next year. So sending away 202, he probably didn't have the roster spots for that pick. So from that perspective, I can see it. Money where my mouth is. I've said I'm okay packaging up these seconds, but this is where it comes down to, what do you think you can do with that 202? Because if I'm telling you right now, I can go out and get Tyler Allgeier, Chuba Hubbard, Mike Evans, Jacoby Myers. If I can go and spend that 202 in a way that makes Tootin, like anyone, right? If I can use that 202 in a way that helps my team make a bet on some of these new free agent news, like whatever happens, I kind of like the value on the Marv Quinshawn in the 202 side. I think if I'll quote T. Sanford here, the price of a preference is a second. An early second is something. So if you want preference between Burden and Marv, maybe the price is an early 26 second. I'm not going to pay a liquid 27 first, especially a random one for Quinshawn Judkins. I think I can make that bet probably cheaper or in a different way. So pure value, it's Marv Quinshawn in the 202 side. With what lefty's trying to do, I want lefty side. Give me Burden in the 27 first.
Yeah, I think. Let me say this. Let's see what he does with the 27 first.
Yeah.
Right? Because there could be a piece that he acquires with that 27 first as we get more hype, or even with that Burden that could completely flip this deal. Like, that's why I'm taking it, because the three assets that A. Jordan, HL 97 got, like, you're going to require, you got to wait until the season to see what you're going to get with Judkins, because he's coming off the injury. You got to see what Marv is going to do before, with this new offense with Jacoby. You're hoping that Jacoby Brissett is back there chucking it 40 times, because if not, I don't know where the target share is going to come from. Now if they sign Kendrick Bourne, like with Burden, there's hype. There's a lot of liquidity right there. Like, he could probably flip Burden into a 27 first and another wide receiver. Granted, it's 12 by 10. You're probably not going to start that tier of receiver, but he might be able to get 2 firsts out of this, plus a wide receiver that he can use. And that flexibility can't be understated. And that's the only reason why I'm on that side, is you just can't understate that flexibility. Yeah. If you're trying to retool,
especially in this community, getting those 27 first today, that's everything.
I mean, it's all over X too. I mean, we've got elite and elite
plus.
Like, you've got, but it's just going to get hyped even further, because we've got a very deep 27 first class. If everybody comes out, that's the big caveat. If everybody comes out. So, like, we do have to kind of pump the expectations on all 27 first, but it is a very potentially, fantasy rewarding class.
I want people to be excited. No break pumping. Just get excited, people, please, about the 27 class. We appreciate you, Lefty. Nice deal there. An interesting one. Curious what you can do with that 202. But hey, Brandon, you brought us 2, and this is a way to use your 111 in a 12 by 12 2-point tight end premium. Talk me through this deal here with old Charles Chill FFB. And you got another trade in the hopper here too from you.
Yeah. So, old Scott, love Scott Connor. Shout out to Scott. Scott's not exactly as high on old as Isaiah Likely. And in this format, he has, I believe, Colston Loveland, and he had a couple other tight ends that are very usable, that are very, he had Loveland, but then he also has a couple of tight ends that are probably in the same Likely tier. And we only have to start one. And this is a team where I'm kind of, this is an orphan I've kind of tried to fix a little bit. And if I have to pay the late first price post free agency to get into a tight end like Likely, I think I have AJ Barner and I have George Kittle, but then the rest are like the Jackson Hawes types, tight end 50 types. So this is for me, like, okay, if I can bolster this and throw him in my flex temporarily while I'm trying to figure out this team, this isn't a terrible price to pay. A singular late 26 first in a, tight end premium league.
Mm-hmm. That's the price. I mean, I'm looking at just like general ADP, 111 to Isaiah Likely is less than a round apart. So, I mean, you add in the 2-point tight end premium, that is absolutely the price. I don't think I'm selling Likely for less with a 26 pick. Gabe, do you see that any differently?
I do not. And actually, I think I'm a little bit more convicted on Brandon's side for this one. I'm excited, man, for Isaiah Likely, dude. Like, I think he is going to do really well in New York. Very good quarterback, as we've kind of alluded to. Very good offensive scheme, offensive situation with Neighbors and Cam and I am just really, really excited. He had great flashes when he was with the Ravens, and it was always like, if anything happened to Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely would be the guy, and now he gets his opportunity to be the solo contributor back there for the tight end position. And so I'm excited, man, for Isaiah Likely. I would definitely send away the 111 for him.
Perfect. Brandon, you got the AGTS seal of approval on that one. Now, talk me through some Brandon Aiyuk bets.
All right. So I know this is going to be an uncomfortable one for some people because, we got to bring out the battle scars of Brandon Aiyuk. Okay. But I mentioned this on Wednesday on our community chat. So if you want access to that, make sure you follow all the links below. Get into the free tier. You can listen to those kind of stages chats. But one of the guys that I'm betting on over the next couple of days is Brandon Aiyuk. He hasn't signed yet. He's still in San Francisco. So there's still, a chance that he could be with San Francisco. But in the odds that he moves and he goes to a location that is desirable, right? This is the kind of deal where what's the real risk? It's not AD Mitchell. It's 304, which in a class where people do not want first rounders, let alone second rounders, and they definitely don't want third rounders. This is kind of like the exit price is the mid third. Now, I made 3 of these deals. I didn't want to submit all 3 of them, but I have 3 of these deals where 2 of them involve AD Mitchell in a mid third, and I traded in a best ball Ryan Flournoy in a 306 or 309. Yeah. Right? Like these are if the risk cost to me to a guy that the 3 of us believe that if Brandon Aiyuk is to get to a field and get opportunity, people will begin to buy back into him, right? It's instantly. Like the things with Aiyuk are not on the field related issues, right? It's not like, oh, he couldn't catch the ball, or oh, he's slow, or oh, he's not going to fit in this. It's all like for us, we know it's all the off the field stuff. Mm-hmm. Right. It's the, clashing with Kyle Shanahan. It's the clashing with the front office. It's the want to with the rehab. It's all the things off the field that never got him on the field. Right. When you think about it, like he was in the Shanahan doghouse, and that's why. But when he was on the field, he was productive. And the second he can get to the field and be productive, if I can move, this is not a deal where I'm trying to flip for a 27 first or a 28 first. I don't want anybody to think that way. This is more of a, hey, if I can use him in positive liquidity when he starts producing to turn into a 27 second, I win. Right? I moved from a non-desirable 304 to a 27 second that is desirable. Or I can package him in a deal to go up multiple tiers. Like that is the idea with this. And I want everybody to kind of think about, there are probably a few other Brandon Aiyuk types, right? Those types of bets where there's a player that maybe hasn't signed yet that you're like, ooh, let's make the bet. I want to make the bet on now because there's an uncertainty. People are willing to pay less. Now, what that less is, that's dictates by your market. But find something that's less. And if you just got to go give, the 304 and an age, like if AD Mitchell pops off a couple times, okay, fine. But more often than not, he's probably going to be wide receiver 50 or lower on the week. And I'm cool with making that bet that I'm not moving a wide receiver that actually has any real dynasty value. It's just a 2-for-1 that looks that way, but it's a 1-for-1.
They don't all got to be home runs. Singles count too. And I mean, making a bet on wide receiver 74, Brandon Aiyuk at a cost that's very acceptable. Yeah, the upward mobility is on Aiyuk's side. Yeah, you said it perfectly, right? It's not going to take a lot for that positive steam to start when it's all negative right now. So make your bet. Yeah, that's the Jerry Jeudy price right there, man. That's the
that's another one, right? Like Jerry Judy's probably another one. You could probably fire off a bunch of deals. Like if you're like, Ty, Gabe, what do I do with these third rounders? I don't know what to do. Go package them up with something that I don't want to say AD Mitchell's necessarily not desirable, but he's not exactly like your model of liquidity. No. But send him with the third and go make a bet on somebody that you think the community is soured on. Go take a look at KTC or whatever ranking, tier whatever tiers you look at, and just go say, you know what, that guy's not priced right. Let me go send the third. Could be a running back, could be a tight end, could be a quarterback. Just go do it.
Gabe, I got a couple more deals I want to get to. We have 30 seconds more on this one.
Oh, no, man. I mean, honestly, I really don't have anything. I like the bet, Brandon, and I need to start sending out some Brandon Aiyuk trades myself if this is the price before this show airs out.
Okay. Well, you got probably a couple hours to get that done. How about another bet we can bet on? Someone from Adam Q72, a 10-team start 12 best ball league, Superflex, PPR, plus a 1-point tight end premium. You got to start 2 tight ends. I don't see a tight end in this deal, though, Gabe. I see Adam Q getting Devonta Smith in 308, sending away Tyler Allgeier and Tyler Shuck. The Tyler deal. I'm a big Tyler guy. my allegiance are probably going to stick with the Tylers. Just bet against the wide receiver flexibility, get into the quarterback and the running back. How do you feel?
You took the words out of my mouth, my friend. So 10 team super flex. I don't really care about the quarterback situation, right? Like Tyler Shook he's fine. Like we're going to use him in a best ball league. Like if I don't have to actively start him and I just assume his best weeks, I'm fine to take a guy like that. Where I think this deal for me though takes a big shift is Tyler Allgeier, man. I think the path for Tyler Allgeier to be the running back one in Arizona is very, very clear. He, in my opinion, was one of the best running back handcuffs that you could essentially have, right? And now he gets the opportunity to be the solo contributor. I'm very, very, very excited for Tyler Allgeier. And Smitty, he kind of lands in a range where I do like Smitty. I want to make sure I preface that, but he kind of lands in a range of a flat tier wide receiver and a not very high passing volume offense already as it is. And so for me, in a best ball format, I am going to stick with Tyler Allgeier and Tyler Shook as well, man. Again, and it's not even the Shook aspect for me. It's the Allgeier of it all, where I do believe he can be a very good running back this year.
Yeah. Adam was making a bet. He needed another wide receiver. Didn't have much use for Shook or Allgeier on his team. So he's anticipating an AJ Brown trade. I mean, I think things can still happen, but I think we all kind of got catfished on an AJ Brown trade over the next couple of weeks here. So I get it from trying to make a bet on a Smitty today using pieces from your team that you see as excess. I will never be against that. How I want to construct my teams and be strong in best ball, usually quarterback and running back, I want to have that well, and I feel like I can approach wide receiver with volume and with roster construction versus value. So I'm going to lean Tyler and Tyler. Brandon, I'll give you again a couple moments here. 12 by 10 best ball. 10 by 12 best ball.
Yeah, and that is why I actually like Devonta Smith, because it's 10 teams, which means quarterback.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So it's really it's just who do you prefer?
Yeah.
Tyler Allgeier or Devonta Smith?
Man.
And in that vacuum, and not to say that Tyler Shook is completely devalued in the format, right? Because he's not. You still got a roster. He still has some value, but like this is essentially like 2 seconds for Devonta Smith in the third. The way I look at it, like I'm fine with this price. Like this is actually a very creative way to get to Devonta Smith in a 10 by 12. If this was 12 by 10, it's the other way around. I am 1000% on you guys. Everything you guys said, yeah, yep, good. Mm-hmm. But because it's a 10 by 12. And there's only going to be 20 starters every single week at maximum. How often does Tyler Shook really play into the format?
Probably
not as often as we want to. I know it's best ball, so it's different than lineup. Yeah. I get that part of it. But like for me, like I'm not gonna like Tyler Shook's what tight end or quarterback 23, 22, maybe 21. Yeah. Like if we're being like.
I just think there's more opportunity in a best ball league for Tyler Allgeier to fall into the end zone, in my opinion. Like, I just think the pathway is a lot more clear for him. Yeah.
I think we're hoping that, right? But it's like, I know what Smitty's baseline is, and I know that if AJ Brown I don't even think, even if he's not traded, like, what if AJ Brown just starts to, pull a Terrell Owens? It's like, you know what? My hamstring hurts today, coach. I'm just going to pull up early, right? We all know that Jalen Hurts will throw to his Alabama boy, Devonta Smith. Like, we just know that that's going to happen. And so, like, this is a bet. This is a very strategic bet. It could easily not pay off. But I think for me, Devonta Smith, this is a very sneaky way to get a potential, locked in wide receiver in your lineup.
There's still some runway for that bet to come through. And quarterback 21 on keep trade cut, Tyler Shook. Super flex too. So really you only need one of them if the rest of your team is sound enough. In a start 12, I'm just going to assume that 2 quarterbacks are still going to start every week for you, unless your team is a goon squad. So no arguments here on the, devaluing the quarterback a bit in a 10 team, but I don't know.
Usually when there's disagreements between me and Gabe, that means it's a good deal.
Yeah.
Usually when we can't see the same, Usually when I can't see the same side as Gabe, that means it's probably a pretty good deal for both sides. It's probably going to pay off. It's a good deal.
All right. Well, let's see if we have another one where we can get some disagreements here. Let's flip over to Bombadil. 12 team, start 11. Gets into the 101. Sends away Luther Burden, 105, 205, and 305. Sends away the whole draft class with Luther Burden to get that Jeremiah Love. Brandon, is again worth the bet to go up and get that chance at the elite running back.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Like, again, I like Luther Burden. I think he's a very upward mobility. You know, there's a lot of positive liquidity right now. And if you can use him to leverage into getting the elite asset, 12 by 11s where it starts to get a little dicey on flex options, right? So you probably could consider 105 and Burden okay price to get out of the 101, which is probably what James Ob 51 decided to do, right? Like, but for me, I want the opportunity at the elite running back, because that's what people crave the most right now, is the opportunity at the elite. And we just did the exercise earlier, right? There's not many. Like, you would probably have to, like, does this price point, Burden and Nader to Taters, all of his picks, does that get you Gibbs? Does that get you Bijan? Does that get you Jeanty? And if the answer all the way across the board is no, then this is probably what I need to send to go get Love.
Last year was a startup with a handful of teams going all out, decided to take the build through youth approach, finished 101. And while I have some solid pieces, still not ready to compete. Taking a chance, Burden makes that leap, but this allows me to start filling out the roster a bit and then turning it on for the 27 class. Figured getting Burden a top 5 pick in this class will secure another wide receiver, and that was worth moving on from Love. I mean, I get it, right? Talent, like an asset poor team trying to split. You get a 4-for-1, 2 real assets in Burden and 105, 2 hopeful pieces in 205, 305. I'm curious what you can do with everything. I mean, consolidation price in a 12 by 11, that is the price for sure. I think Shane would be offended if I didn't take 101 here, just based on my conversations with him this week. Gabe, do you see that? Like, would you want Burden 105? You got a lot of burden on the brain this week, but how do you feel?
I do have a lot of burden on the brain this week, man. And honestly, and it still hasn't given me any clarity on if I think he's going to be the wide receiver 1 or not there. So if that says anything, I think for me, I am not going to have any disagreements with you guys. And I think I just want the opportunity to get myself into a potential Gibbs, Bijan type of running back. Because to Brandon's point, I don't think that you would be able to acquire either one of those guys for this type of package. And I understand, like, when you're not flush with assets, right, and you have to make moves like this, I don't know, man. I feel like we could have gotten a little bit better. And maybe it is the burden of it all, because I'm just not super secure on what he's going to be long term, right? So maybe if that was another wide receiver, and even in that same range, right, I'd have to go and look, but same range type of wide receiver, just maybe not Burden, then maybe I feel a little bit differently about it. But yeah, I'm going to stick with the 101 here.
Perfect. Yeah. Gabe, do you have any time constraints this week?
No, man, let's do it.
Brandon, you good?
I'm still good. I'm drinking my coffee. I'm good.
Well, until the coffee hits the bladder, we got some time. So let's roll over to Wayne O'Mac. Back to the 10-team start 12 here, Gabe. Superflex PPR, no tight end premium, a 0.5 point per completion, 6, -2, -2. I'm assuming the extra -2 is for a pick 6 and a 15 spot bench. Wayne O'Mac sends away Patrick Mahomes to the Chiefs fans sideline action. Also adds in DJ Moore, Jalen Coker, and Woody Marks. Gets back Kyler Murray, Sam Laporta, 27 first to sideline action, a 27 and a 28 second. So 2 seconds in the future, a 27 first, Kyler and Laporta for Mahomes, Moore, Coker, and Woody Marks. What a fun deal. That's a lot of names that we feel differently, have some bets. So talk to me on Kyler, talk to me on DJ Moore, talk to me on the picks, and Sam. Got a lot to talk about here, Gabe. Get at me here.
Yeah, man, this is an interesting one, right? Because again, we mentioned it earlier in the show, but 10-team Superflex, like quarterbacks are great. but I just don't know that I want to invest that much money into a quarterback, if you will, unless your name is probably Josh Allen, right? Like at the end of the day, like it's not where I'm really wanting to park my money. However, on the flip side of that, though, no tight end premium either is kind of like it doesn't make me feel great either. Man, I think in a 10-by-12 tie, if I were to sit here and look at this, I kind of think I want Kyler Murray, Sam Laporta in the first side. And I think a lot of that value stems from specifically that 27 first. And I will tell you, because at worst, it's the 110. If you're the championship, if you win the ship, it's the 110, which, again, is usually a pretty good, it's usually a pretty good baseline, right? And odds are if you don't win, then hell, even if you just make it to the semis, that's already the 107, 108. And you're already talking about a mid first at that point, right? So again, I think the depth of the league definitely matters for me in this one. Jalen Coker, yeah, he's fine. Like, again, I'm not super overly invested. We already talked about Woody Marks, right, being in a shared backfield with David Montgomery now. DJ Moore, I like DJ Moore, man, and I am, excited for what he could do in Buffalo. I think they've definitely needed a wide receiver one-ish for a while now. We'll see if it comes to fruition there with Josh Allen, but I'm definitely excited for DJ Moore. Patrick Mahomes is fantastic, but I think placing bets, right? We have to make a bet. If Kyler Murray, in my opinion, is a starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, I think he could give me even 70%, not even that high, 70% of what potentially Patrick Mahomes could give me. And then I get Sam Laporta 27 first and 227 seconds, which, in such a shallow format, I'm okay to liquidate Jalen Coker, Woody Marks, and DJ Moore for, the seconds and the picks and whatnot.
Brandon, let me break this thing down a little bit differently here for you. How do you feel in a no tight end premium PPR league here with the point per completion, all that good stuff? So Sam Laporta and the 27 and 28 second for DJ Moore and Jalen Coker.
I want the DJ Moore side with no tight end premium. Like there isn't it's not like Laporta was this volume hog.
Not at all.
Like it you know what I mean? Like he's probably third best option in Detroit behind Amon-Ra and Gibbs. Because I'm just going to assume those two are going to get more volume, at least. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna factor in Isaiah Pacheco into the volume game.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's JMO too, so we might even be fourth.
Right. And then we're left with Kyler Murray in the 27 first for Patrick Mahomes and Woody Marks.
I mean, it's probably a fair price in a 10-by-12, but like Gabe said, I don't think I necessarily want to have to. Like, this is just not the kind of deal that I want to go liquidate into. Like, if I'm going to,
it's not the format, right? It's not the format.
It's not the format, right? Hey, flip it 12-by-10. Yeah. Yes, it's 1,000. Then I'm fine. But like, it's not exactly like, because here's the thing: is there's also those completion percentage bonuses, detractors. Like Kyler's not exactly like the model of completion percentage health by any stretch of the matter. I don't have the number right in front of me, but that also factors in too. It's going to be a new offense for him. Like maybe it does work out and maybe the KOC model does work and he ends up being 67, 68% passer with Jefferson and Addison. And they run it back with Mason and Aaron Jones, like me and Hawkinson. Maybe he does become a little more efficient. And I think that's what Wayno Mac is betting on, right? Is that Kyler goes into the KOC model and turns out being, close to MVP Kyler, as opposed to what he was at the end of his Arizona tenure. Like, and if that's the bet, okay, I can understand it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but because then, like, for me, it's like, okay, you got all this flexibility of picks and you got the quarterback, but then what are you going to do with Sam Laporta? How do you trade that? How do you move that? So, I mean, I get what he did. He was taking DJ Moore, who has some liquidity, and probably tried to get out of DJ Moore before it was too late.
Yeah. I mean, he's in the news, right? Now is the time to strike if you're trying to make a move with him. Wayno Mac was a contender all 8 years of this league, made 3 ships, 5 finals. Finally, time to reboot. He felt the down tier was worth the risk. Still had the moves to make to improve his 27 pick, but he has. JD5, Caleb, Kyler, Brissett, and any quarterback on a 2 deep. We've got Henry, Bucky, Kyron, Allgeier, Dobbins, and any running back on a 53. Rome, Rice, Tet, Hunter, Parker, Washington, Hill, Kittle, add Sam Laporta. He's got 108, 208, 310, 327 first, one projected early, mid, and one late. He's got an early second and third. Got 28 and extra first and second as well. I mean, it's not that far off from being competitive again, man. It's a decent team. I
would almost trade Kyler again. Trade Kyler and Sam Laporta. Get rid of him. You don't need
That's
him.
what it comes down to. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't need them. Like, you got JD5 and Caleb, and then you got Brissett behind it.
Yeah, and I think it even made me feel even better about this trade, in my opinion, at least for me, right? Where move Patrick Mahomes, man. Again, I get it. You got JD5 and you got Caleb Williams. You don't need Patrick Mahomes in this trade. You try to acquire as many 27 first at this point as you can.
Yeah. Can you bring his lineup back up?
Yeah.
Like, can I go take Kyler Murray, Sam Laporta, and Rome or Rice and go up it? What can I do to get into like one of the elite tier at running back or wide receiver? Like, that's what I would try to do with this piece. I know I'm not giving up. I know this is not a dynasty strategy show, but like, the next trade should be, I don't need Kyler. I got Jacoby. Like, let me go try to get into an upper level tier, so I don't have to necessarily bank on the 2027 first. Be like needing to be an elite wide receiver difference maker on my team, right? Like, I would want to continue to backfill in with depth, right? Getting those Tet pieces, those Tet level pieces with my picks. But I also I've got, what does it take to get to Amon-Ra? Right? Is it Kyler?
You start throwing in Henry there too. You don't. Need Henry either.
I mean, I would get rid of, or maybe Bucky, right? Can I do Kyler? Bucky. Can I do Kyler, Bucky, and Sam Laporta for an elite for like Amon-Ra and something else? Just stuff like that. Like, when you have the excess, it doesn't need to be a 1-for-1 with the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
It can be go cross positional. And I think that's where it goes back to, like, we're going all the way back to T's trade, right? Where he traded Jaxson Dart in the first and went and got the elite war difference maker in Trey McBride.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go and get the exact level quarterback.
Can I send Kyler, Sam Laporta, 108, 208, go get like a Omari and Hampton, a Justin Jefferson, something in that range, like CeeDee Lamb even slipping, right? Like, I would try to package up something like that. This deal definitely comes down to, what can I actually do with Sam Laporta in this format? I'm assuming it's not much, unfortunately.
And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay to be your tight end 1 for the season. It's okay. But you got a lot of other, like, you got running backs and wide receivers that you could use and dispose in this format that you could probably, get an elite difference maker at one of those two positions.
Yeah. As far as like league formats go, I get getting out of Patrick Mahomes, and for team context, I doubly so understand trying to move off some of that value, repurpose it elsewhere. Yeah, you have another move to make, and you know that. So go make another move. We'll catch you on the next show, baby. All right. Next one here. Dynasty Scardy. He brings us one. Guy Scardy. And we're going to see a Bijan trade. We're getting to Bijan and a 28 first.
Ooh.
Send away Cam Ward, 103 and 102. In a 12x10 super flex. It's a 0.2 point per carry too, Brandon, and a 2.0 tight end premium. The extra first is just
gravy.
That's something else.
Take us home, Brandon. Take us home.
I mean, I've said it all. Episode. When you have the chance to get an elite difference maker in a league and the price is palatable, 102 and 103 are Bijan. Bijan, right? And if you just say, okay, Cam Ward's worth the 2028 first because you just want to get out of him, because somebody doesn't believe in him, because somebody saw his year 1, like,
that's a good cash out price in my opinion.
It's not the best of cash out prices, but it's
pretty damn good. 28 seems far away today. It's coming. It's in that rearview mirror,
and it's 12x10, right? So it makes the premium on the difference makers even more apparent. So this is probably like, let's just say Cam's worth a first, right? Would you pay the 106 or Cam Ward this year, guys? Real quick.
106 or Cam Ward?
Yes. Because there isn't a second quarterback in this draft.
No, that's what I said. It just depends on my quarterback situation.
Yeah, but I need a quarterback, and I'm going to go get Cam Ward. Is it okay if I spend the 106, 107?
Yeah.
If I'm trying to go get Sam Darnold, I probably have to spend more. So yeah, I'll go get Cam Ward. Sure.
Okay, so let's just say 3 firsts for Bijan and a first.
Bijan in the first, please.
That's the way I'm looking. Like, I'm trying to break this down in a way that makes how does splitting Bijan into these make sense? Yeah. It's just, I get it. Like, this is the way to go get him. You got to, go take that. What Pate is preying on is that Scarty doesn't have the 101 and he takes Jeremiah Love, right? Somebody gets crazy and goes and takes Mendoza at the 101. And then it's like, oh, now it maybe changes a little bit, right? If it's Love, Ward, and the 103 for Bijan in the first, now it's like, okay, this is pretty close. But right now, as it currently stands, yeah, give me Bijan first.
Give me that Bijan, please. Gabe, I got one more for you here, buddy. And I know that you've just been thinking about Burden all day. So I want to give you one more burden to take us home here.
I'm gonna have nightmares about Burden. Thank you.
first timer here, I believe. Remember Jeddah. You let me know in the comments how to actually say it. I'll see if I can remember. 14 by 10, Superflex PPR, 1.75 for tight ends, 6 -2 scoring. Interested in your thoughts on the value of this deal here, Gabe. So on one side, we got Bretton Strange, 9, JJ McCarthy, Luther Burton, your boy Jalen Knoll, and the 103 being sent away for Colby Parkinson, George Pickens, and the 101.
Can you pull Can you pull up the format again?
Can I? So 14.
Does it matter?
Superflex PPR.
No, it doesn't matter. But
I don't think it matters.
I was like, I'm just trying to make sure. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not, going off my skis here, right? I'm taking George Pickens over Luther Burton. Pretty comfortably. 101 to 103 is a very, very valley-sized gap, if you will.
You can add it in Bretton Strange, JJ McCarthy, and Jalen Knoll. I don't think you pry away 101 from me there.
Yeah. And that's basically where I was getting. I was trying to let anticipation build up a little bit.
No.
But okay, you're right.
We're over an hour into the show. There ain't no anticipation anymore here, man.
101, George Pickens, Colby Parkinson, pretty easily.
Yeah. I mean, inbox offer, try to package lower tier but high upside rookies and second-year players plus the 103 to get to the 101. Yeah, it's a good way to use that hype. The deal leaves me a bit exposed at tight end. You're going to be fine. With only Hawk. Still have Lamar and Darnold as QBs. Need to find a backup. I think you're going to be okay. Running back room is 101, Henderson, Hubbard, and a bunch of hope for 25s like Marks, Giddens, Taj Brooks, and Trevor Achan. Achan. We got 3 Achans now in the league. Wide receiver room is now a Aiyuk, Pearsall, Pickens, Coker, Higgins, Bond, Tesla. Beyond Hawk, have Parkinson, Arroyo, and roster cloggers. Beyond the 101, he has 203, 27, 31, 32, and 227 first. Brandon, looking at those later picks, I know he's going to be staring a couple tight ends down the barrel there, whether it be at those seconds or thirds. Tight end, you can definitely figure it out here in this format. Like, you're going to be able to piecemeal it or figure out another deal down the line. I love this deal we'll remember Jeddah.
I mean, let's just do Pickens over Burton and JJ McCarthy as it currently stands.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like Burton in a second or Pickens. So you're taking Pickens. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So then Parkinson in the 101 or Brenton Strange, Jalen Knoll in the 103. We already know how I feel about the 101 and potential of Jeremiah Love being in that elite outcome. So it's fine. 203, I think was the first second rounder. Like, there's a chance that Ty Simpson slips to that pick. Not everybody's really high on this QB2 that comes out, even if he is a first round. Like, if Ty Simpson comes out, goes pick 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they bring back Aaron Rodgers, Ty's probably going to slip. You might be able to slip right into that 203. You'll be fine. There will be plenty of tight ends, even though you'll be fine. Literally, you will be fine. Colby Parkinson is more than adequate, and you'll be able to pull all of those. You'll be able to take a couple shots on rookies. You'll be fine.
And he still had Hawkinson too.
And he still has Hawkinson. Like, you're fine.
Yeah,
like,
you're going to be fine.
Was it never wrong, only early? Maybe I was just early on that TJ Hawkinson top 5 tight end dynasty outcome that I bet last year there, Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, again, creative. I think the theme of today's trades were creative ways to get rid of the positive momentum on a lot of players. So like comb through the free agency. I'm sure we'll see more deals with Rashad White and Emmanuel Wilson and Calvin Austin in best ball leagues, because that's the only way I would ever want a Calvin Austin. But like, like Chigakwonkwo, right? Chig's now on the Commanders. Like, these are guys that have positive liquidity, that have momentum because they've been they're now their name is in the news. So take advantage, strike, because there's not really much more until we hit the NFL draft in 6 weeks.
Gabe, any last thoughts for the people?
No, man, just a lot of value shifts right now. I think there's good opportunities for you to place your bets. And hopefully we gave you some actionable information today. Just go out there and make some more trades, man.
Sir, as I look outside on this Saturday, it is snowing sideways. So go out, be warm, or just go enjoy your weekend. A lot of news, a lot of actual stuff we can use in our dynasty leagues to go and get some deals done today. There's hype where there wasn't hype. There's questions where there wasn't before. So go take advantage, make your bets today. If you want to talk about this some more, patreon.com/allgas gets in the community. Have that free look into the community. Yeah, you can watch us live on stages, take a peek at some of the channels before you decide. Hit that link below, ddfantasyfootball.com. Get all the tools to dominate your leagues. Make sure you stick around for the trades and chill tier. Leave your comments below of what you thought about these deals. What are you doing with some of this free agent news? How damn expensive is the 101, and is it worth it? And of course, if you made it this far, all we ask, like, subscribe, hang around for the next one. We appreciate everyone that tuned in. Enjoy your weekend, and we out of this thing. Peace.